Hi, in this video of the Solstice training series, I'm going to show you how to connect into a Solstice pod for the first time, as well as a number of other connection methods, or a few at least, to give you the different scenarios that you'll run into. The first thing we need to do to connect to a Solstice pod is to connect to the PSU wireless. The AT&T wireless will not route you to the pods correctly. You need to be joined to either the PSU wireless or any wired network connection on Penn State's network to be routed properly to a Solstice pod. So the first time you connect into a pod, you actually need to connect to the pod's web interface, in other words, web page, and download the client and install it onto your computer. The installation is a user-based installation and only installs to your user account, not the entire computer, and will not be available to other users. They'll have to download it into their accounts individually. The beauty of that is it does not require administrative rights to load the client. So in this case, I'm going to pull up a web browser and type in the IP address of our pod, which you'll see in a number of places on the pod screen. Just below the name, in a connected by a web section right above the Penn State logo, and in the lower left-hand corner. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the IP now, and we'll connect into the interface. And we're going to go ahead and click the button, Get the App, and Connect. If you've connected into this pod previously, or the same pod, and you're trying to re-download the client, this button may appear different. It might just say Connect. And in that case, it wants to connect into your, or redirect into your app. So if that's the case, you want to click on this, already have the app, click here. Well, that's actually going to change to a different description at that point, and you can download the client from down there. But in this case, since it's the first time we've connected in, we're going to click the Get the App and Connect button. It's going to download to either a zip file or an individual app file. Kind of depends on the browser and how you download it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my downloads, and I'm going to open up the zip, which is going to open up the Solstice app. And in this case, I'm going to install the app by double clicking on the download.app and hit open button. And now it's actually installing the app, which is again a user-based install. And once it opens, now I'm going to alternate click on the app itself, and I'm going to choose options and keep in dock on a Mac, and that will keep the icon here in my dock, but it also showed up on the desktop. In this case, the icon's a little different color, which is unusual. Last time it downloaded green. Now in this case, it's pulling up a screen key. So it's trying to connect us directly into the pod because we've downloaded the client from this pod. If you download it from Immersive's website, it won't do this. It'll just open up and allow you to either discover or enter the IP. But again, since we downloaded it from the individual pod's web page, it's redirecting us right to that pod. So I'm going to type in the screen key that I see in the lower left-hand corner, and I also see it below the name of the pod in the middle of the screen, which is MZR. Now I'm connected into the pod, and I can share content. But at this point, we're going to disconnect, and I'm going to show you two other connection methods. The other one is the Discovery tab. On the Discovery tab, we have a recently used section with pods that I've recently connected to, and we also have displays around you. So if you scroll down, you'll see all the pods on Penn State's network that's joined to its SDS or Solstice Discovery service. And these could be pods at really any of Penn State's locations, branch campus or University Park campus. As long as they're hooked into the Discovery service, they will show up here. As you can see, they're pretty much named by the building and room number, so it should be pretty easy to tell which pod you want to connect to. Now, since I've connected to this pod already, you see it's not down here in this list. It jumps from 1 to 3. It's because it's moved up to recently used now. So to connect to any pod from the discovery display list, you just click on it. And now we enter the screen key that we see on the pod screen now, which has changed on me, as it changes about every 2 connections or so. And now I'm in the pod and can share content. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect again because I want to show you the IP connection. So for pods that are not in the university's SDS or Discovery service, which you would consider sort of a standalone pod, you would want to click on the Enter IP Address tab. And here you just enter the IP that you see on the pod screen that we used earlier to connect to the web browser. So I'm going to type it in again. Click on Go. And now I'm connecting in with the screen key again. So I'll do it X3 and 4. And now I'm connected into the pod. And now I can actually share content, which we'll show you how to do in a different video. This one was just for connection methods. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to disconnect.